For what real value of x is the equation above true? Okay, seems like a pretty simple question, not a lot of words. But we have a what we call a 4-term polynomial. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. There's an x cubed. So we got to find out what the value of x is, which is kind of similar to what we've been doing in the past, where we just try to solve for x, or we try to factor in z and see what the factors of x are. But there's going to be a little bit more work because we're dealing with an x cubed. So we want to be very strategic about how we can simplify this. So one thing you can do is you can start grouping them. So let's group these two together and these two together, okay? And let's simplify. So for the x cubed minus 5x squared, how can I simplify that a little bit more? Well, I can pull out an x squared. So what does that mean? That means I can write out x squared outside, multiply that by x minus 5. Do you see how that's the same thing, right? Because if I took the x squared times x, that'll just give me my x cubed, and then the x squared times the negative 5 will get negative 5x squared. So all I did, I just took out that x squared. Then let's do the other one. What I can do here, what's common in the 2x and the 10 is a 2. So I'll pull out that 2, and I will multiply that by x minus 5, and all that is equal to 0. Good, so we're making some work here. Now, we want to simplify this even more so we can get it into a form that's like this factor times this factor, and we can find out the factors of x. Okay, and we can solve for the values of x when this equation will be equal to 0. Okay, so what we can do, and I want to rewrite this in a different color just so we can see it. So I'm going to take this 2 and this x squared and 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull out the x minus 5 from each one. And I'm going to write it like this. X minus 5 times this times x squared plus 2. Do you see what I did? I just pulled out the x minus 5 and the x minus 5 from each one outside. So now, if you actually were to distribute the x minus 5, you just get the stuff that we have up here. So x minus 5 times x squared, well, that's just this stuff right here. And then x minus 5 times 2, well, that's just this right here, right? But all I did, I just took out that x minus 5. Now, why did I do that? Because it actually makes things a little clearer, and we're able to solve for the factors of x. Now, we can say, well, either this is going to be 0 or either that is going to be 0, and to give us 0. So what value of x for the first one will give us a value of 0? Well, 5 minus 5 will give us 0. So when x equals 5, then this whole thing becomes true. Cool. What about the second one? Well, the second was an x squared plus 2. So is there really any value of x that when you square and add it to 2, you'll get 0? Well, no. The only thing that you would want it to have gotten is a negative 2. But you can't ever get a negative value by squaring it. So whatever your answer is for x for this one is going to be imaginary, and you don't need it, and they ask for a real value, not an imaginary one. So we're all happy. We can just stop at x equals 5. So if you're a little confused, again, pause the video or rewind a little bit and go through the steps again and try it out for yourself and see how it works out. Okay? Good luck.